Hello, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics/Non-Classics, Episode 38. Our review stuff from Marvel and DC. In this book, like I said, that's one of my favorite crossovers of last year, X-Men, X-Termination. Those who might look at the cover, is that Nightcrawler? Yes and no. Yes, it is Nightcrawler. No, it is not. This Nightcrawler is from the Age of Apocalypse universe. Okay? Now, the issue in this book, this is a crossover happened last year. This book contains issues. Age of Apocalypse, issues 13 and 14. Age of Apocalypse had an ongoing series? Yes, they did. It lasted 14 issues. Astonishing X-Men 661, X-Termination 1 and 2, and the Extreme X-Men 12-13. Now, basically in this book, a lot of stuff happens. Let's get the chip down. In the first issue, which is written by David Hovden. He writes Age of Apocalypse issues. He also writes the X-Termination issues. The Marvel does get a co-writing credit in the second issue. Greg Pot writes the Extreme X-Men issues, and Marjorie Liu writes the Astonishing X-Men issues. Now, in the first issue, which has Nightcrawler and Age of Apocalypse on the cover, now there are 3 pages in here take place in the mainstream universe. The other takes place in the Age of Apocalypse universe. Now, before you read this, you gotta read pretty much almost the entire Uncanny X-Force series. Well, the first line of it. You also gotta read Age of Apocalypse, Extreme X-Men. You also gotta read the 2 Age of Apocalypse trade paperbacks, the Extreme X-Men trade paperbacks. There are 2 of them. The Age of Apocalypse got 2 of them. Uncanny X-Force, you gotta read like a whole bunch of them. Probably starting with Dark Angel Saga, that's so you know exactly what's going on. Now, in this particular issue, Mystique of the Mainstream Universe does show up. And she talks to her alternate timeline son. And she does have Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler, the mainstream Nightcrawler at this time has been dead for about 3 years. And he came back later on last year. Later on this very year. Mainly start with now, this particular part of the book takes place not long after the events of Uncanny X-Force 35. I'd say probably about a few weeks, maybe. Now, only just the first 2 pages and the last page of this issue deal with exactly what's going on in the mainstream universe. Now, beginning with the fourth panel on the third page of the book issue, it deals with now. Apparently, according to the issue, 9 months have passed by since the events of issue 12, which Weapon Omega, a.k.a. the Age of Apocalypse version Wolverine, who was the new Apocalypse, his power had been removed and placed inside of a capsule. That later placed in the events of the crossover. Okay? Lady Penance, who makes a cameo for a couple pages in the issue, who is actually just the Age of Apocalypse version Monette. Trask appears in this show. He looks kind of, though he does look different than he does in the mainstream verse. He kind of looks like he's not exactly white. He's sort of like a mix between that. He also has his daughter, Francesca Trask, and for one panel only, she calls him Dad. Yeah. And those of you fans of the XL series, Sabretooth appears in here. Yeah, Sabretooth. Yeah. He doesn't appear that much in this issue, but he does get healed. Apparently, he had been this way since issue 10 of Age of Apocalypse, what Graydon Creed did to him. Despite that Graydon Creed despises his father, he hates him, but he's his father. And of course, it also implied that Prophet has a relationship with Zora, which is also known as Deadeye. Yeah. Sabretooth does get healed, which he's a bit surprised about. It'll look like a missing arm. Yeah. And of course, there's a flashback to the original Apocalypse from the 8th Apocalypse era. Yeah. There's also Prophet does tell sort of his origin story. And now, in this issue, it's implied that he and Zora have a sexual relationship. This is not common to play in any way, shape, or form throughout the rest of the whole entire thing. Now, here's something that you might be surprised about. Here's the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, who saw Weapon X. If you look very closely, he's missing a hand. That is thanks to the man who he's going to kill. The AOA Cyclops. No, he doesn't. He doesn't act any way, shape, or form like the mainstream Cyclops at all. Now, he also mentions he's already killed Havoc, a person he's killed twice. He killed him at the end of Age of Apocalypse crossover in the 90s, and he killed him between issues. And of course, he kills Cyclops. And of course, Jean Grey shows up in the issue. So basically, you have 3 deaths in the same issue. You have the AOA Cyclops, Havoc, and third one's coming very soon. And of course, Wolverine doesn't annul his marriage to Jean Grey, though I don't think he really cares about being married to her anymore, because I think he probably knows that she's sleeping with Graydon Creed. Yeah, she's sleeping with Graydon Creed. Then they have the AOA Sebastian Shaw show up in the issue, along with Donald Pierce, who's actually a good guy in this universe. Prophet is William Stryker. Those of you know that name know the fact that he is a bigot in the mainstream universe, and he's dead. And of course, the third death comes when Sebastian Shaw dies. I'm not sure about Dr. Mono, I don't have any information about him. They do show this is the capsule, which is what the Apocalypse C is kept in. So basically, you have 3 deaths before the crossover starts, and then you have Jean Grey with Graydon Creed. Then you have possibly the best way to end an issue. You have the Dark Beast. That's right, the Dark Beast from the Age of Apocalypse universe meet up with Nightcrawler. And he tells them they want to transfer to their own universe. And this continues in Extreme X-Termination 1. Now the next issue is Extreme X-Men number 12, which continues right where the last issue left off for Extreme X-Men if we read the Extreme X-Men trade paperback. Yeah, mainly in this issue they just try to free some slaves, and of course they're trying to build a Sphinx with Xavier's face on it. Yeah, I don't know what the obsession with Xavier in this series is. And they pretty much just push people into this little hole, and this is playing the events of Extermination. Yeah. And of course, in this very issue, 2 of the 3 remaining evil Xaviers get killed off. And they're never seen again. And of course, the Xavier head turns against them, and they get shoved in. Pretty much most people in this reality get shoved into what's in this little hole at the end of this issue. And I'm skipping most of this issue. Of course, they do show the Exterminators, the people who play in the Extermination. Yeah. And of course, then comes Extermination number 1, which from the walls of reality, the walls of the multiverse have cracked. Not shattered like it was in Age of Apocalypse, but cracked. But because apparently what Nightcrawler did. And of course, this has the X-Men team of the mainstream universe. You have Gambit, Iceman, Northstar, Karma, and of course, Wolverine in New York City in a lab. Iceman looks different, but that's okay. Yeah. And of course, the AOA, I'll call him like Dark Nightcrawler. I'll call him not Dark Nightcrawler. He meets up with an alternate version of his late wife, Linda. Yeah, he doesn't talk to her, but he does see her. Meets up with Dark Beast, and then all of a sudden they realize that the only way they go back to the own universe is using the Dream Celestial. Those of you who remember him from the Ken X-Men series. Yeah. And of course they use to activate him, and they try to open up. They open the portal. They don't go through it just yet. Of course the artwork is a bit weird in this issue. They fight. All of a sudden the portal opens, and Dark Beast and Nightcrawler get sent to the other universe. And he's upset because of what Nightcrawler did. He said, and Nightcrawler says basically, that says the X-Men had to save your sorry butt. Says his X-Men. He says, your X-Men, my God, boy, you have been gone a long time. The X-Men are dead. Magneto, all of them are dead by Omega's hand. He thought he lies. Yeah, this actually happened in the Kenny X-Force 19.1. So if you don't know what about this is, read that issue. Yeah, and it's reprinted in Age of Apocalypse Volume 1, Exterminated. Nightcrawler meets up with Blood Prophet, and of course the Exterminated take Dark Beast into custody, and then all of a sudden the X-Men from the mainstream universe show up, all of a sudden to the portal, and then less than a few panels later, the Extreme X-Men show up, out of nowhere. Those of you that read the Extreme X-Men issue. And Wolverine's surprised to see her. Yeah, he's And of course, she's been gone for months. Yeah. And of course, Xavier's glasses cracked for some odd reason. It's not really explained why. Yeah, of course, they're trying to explain exactly what's going on. And of course, the X-Terminators show up, and they cause the first death of the crossover, killing the Xavier head. And he's the only person who dies this issue. And then the mainstream X-Men and the reality-jumping X-Men team up to fight these guys. Except the X-Terminator basically stay back. And of course, this issue does continue, and story continues in Astonishing X number 60. Okay? Let's hope I don't run this long. Please stay on there. Yeah, they just fight back and forth. Of course, the artwork does change. Now, here's one of my favorite lines, my favorite quote of the book. Listen, bub, you may smell and look like me, but I've learned to trust appearances. You stay the hell out of my way. Why don't you just watch your back and save the fussing for later, bub? Yeah, Governor Howlett and Wolverine exchanging dialogue. Though Wolverine has met his dark self, a.k.a. Weapon Omega. He doesn't show up anywhere in this crossover. There's no explanation exactly why he doesn't. He just doesn't. They just fight back and forth. Gambit's trying to interrogate Dark Beast. Karma's trying to possess them. Yeah, she's a telepath. Yeah. Yeah. And of course they try to, of course Wolverine accuses, of course, if you notice, Sabretooth is wearing the same outfit that he wore in both in Age of Apocalypse and the Exile series. So it was nice to see Sabretooth actually do something, but he has no powers. His powers move him thanks to a clone of Scarlet Witch. Yeah. Now I think I'll save right there for that issue. But I will reveal that there are more deaths in this issue. The two deaths that have in this issue is Sabretooth and Horror Show, a.k.a. Graydon Creed, his son. They die. And of course, just before they go and fight, just before they die, Graydon Creed has a makeout session with Jean Grey, who's got short hair. Don't ask why, she just does. Yeah, they die. Thus becoming the second, third person to die in this crossover. Yep. Then the artwork changes for the final issue of Age of Apocalypse 14, and of course the Dreaming Celestial apparently dies in this issue. Yeah. I'll just reveal deaths, basically. Some stuff, and there's some dialogue between Jean Grey and, the AOA Jean Grey and the Cyclops from the Civil War, where he's from the Civil War. And of course, Hercules dies as well, making it 5 people died in less than 3 issues. Yeah, people died back and forth with this crossover. No one from the mainstream universe dies except for the Dreaming Celestial. That's mainly how it works. Yeah, the Dream Celestial apparently dies, though the death has never officially been confirmed by Marvel Comics. Then it continues in Extreme X-Men 13, where it continues fighting back and forth. Howlett mourning Hercules, stuff like that. Continue fighting the Exterminators. They just go back and forth to continue fighting. And then the issue ends basically with Jean Grey opening the Apocalypse Seed. And then, of course, the Extreme X-Men 13, nobody dies. And it continues to Astonishing X-Men 61, where Jean Grey becomes New Apocalypse. That's right, New Apocalypse. And this is what she looks like. Yeah. And she's actually in control, surprisingly. Yes. Now, as people who die in this issue, let's see if I can get to a death. This is Astonishing X-Men 61. I don't think really anybody really dies in this issue. Not really, no. I think maybe a couple people die. But I can't really tell very much if anybody really dies. With the exception, basically, a couple more Exterminators, which don't really count. Nobody dies in this issue. Then comes the final issue, Extermination number 2. Which is the final appearance of Age of Apocalypse, though I'm sure Marvel probably has plans to be opening it sometime soon. But it'll become a lot bigger threat. And of course, Harper Simmons from Dark Angel Saga. He makes a return, though he also appearing in the Age of Apocalypse series. Now, there are a couple more deaths in this book. I almost forgot. I believe that also in Extreme X-Men 13 that the teenage Nightcrawler dies. Yeah, he dies. In this issue, I believe the only person who dies is the AOA Nightcrawler. And of course, Nightcrawler does transfer everybody from both the mainstream X-Men and the reality jumping X-Men. They transport them back to the mainstream universe. And the only person from the Age of Apocalypse universe to come to the regular universe besides Dark Beast is Prophet. Yeah, and of course Harper Simmons. And that's pretty much it. And of course the story ends basically with Nightcrawler sacrificing himself to seal off the Age of Apocalypse universe. Of course the artwork is a bit weird. Wolverine offers Dazzler a spot in the Jean Grey school. Though she gives him time to think about it. She gives him time. He gives her time. Think about it. Yeah, he was really impressed with her. And of course, she's still wearing her Ultimate Version's outfit. And of course, they do show, and of course, Cyclops and Howlett go off to get Hercules out of Tartarus. Yeah. And of course, they do. The thing does end basically with seeing Dazzler, Prophet, and Harper Simmons on the beach, enjoying themselves, having drinks, and showing like the last known images of the X-Terminated and the one who died, three people who died from the Extreme X-Men. Okay. All in all, this was a really good book. Though if you want to change the artwork, it's fine. Though they don't really explain exactly how Wolverine gets his costume back one of the issues. Now, let's make an upgrade to the rating. Not 5 out of 5. 10 out of 10, this book. I really recommend it, but I recommend you get several other stuff. I recommend you get the Dark Angel Saga books, the 2 X-Termination books. I would also recommend Kenny X-Force Otherworld, because that's how much we deal with Bobby, the Age of Apocalypse Bobby, Iceman. I would also bring the 2 X-Termination books and the Age of Apocalypse books. So before this book, you have to read 8 books to understand what's going on here. But what gets wrapped up in this story arc, this crossover, pretty much everything relating to Age of Apocalypse gets completely wrapped up in a nice little bow. In the case of Extreme X-Men, some stuff, not very much. Just some stuff that can still be explored. But what I recommend is the writer Greg Pak basically write a one-shot issue called Extreme X-Men 15. Have it continue the volume 2 numbering, but also acknowledge the fact that it's a 6th issue. Have it like a series of stories, deal like freeing Hercules from Tartarus, meeting up with the exiles, and also figure out exactly what happened to Sage, and never explain that in the series. You can also have it in the story. In the thing, you also can have a story where they go to the Ultimate Universe, and the exiles never did, and I never understood why they couldn't do that. As for Age of Apocalypse, I would probably have Prophet give it his own one-shot, like Age of Apocalypse 15. And probably have like a series of stories like him learning about his counterpart, him meeting his alternate timeline son, stuff like that, to meet with the Avengers. And maybe you can probably have a Red Prophet miniseries after that. But you'll probably have it, you can have Age of Apocalypse 15 be sort of a backdoor pilot to a Red Prophet miniseries. I call him the Red Prophet. That's why back Nightcrawler calls him also the Blood Prophet. I call him the Red Prophet because he has a red face, red mask. So, that's it. Okay? Bye.